Welcome back, boys and girls, to the eastern wing of the Stinkbug Works. I haven't been around for several days because I've been out doing perk tests. I've been out on the Indian reservation. I've been up in Ramona. I've been out in Valley Center. And that's kept me busy the first part of this week. So let me give you an update on my schedule. And my schedule goes like this. Today, I have 6 proposals to get out. Fortunately, they're all to one person, but I still have 6 of them to get out. I can do a lot of cut and paste and copying and such for much of it. But I have 6 proposals to get out. Now, mind you, in a typical month, I might do 2 or 3 or 4 of these things. So to do 6 all in a whack, it should be financially rewarding, amongst other things too. But it should be easy to knock out, and it should be a financial boom. I can afford to buy a new boat. So there's what my schedule looks like. Next week, I do not have any testing that has come up yet. So next week, boys and girls, I'm going to try to make it to the pond. I say this out loud now, so it forces me to do it. So I'm going to try to make it to the pond. This thing is a beast, but I think strengthening the transom to where you can do what I'm doing here while it's fully loaded is well worth the effort. Remember, I just found scraps in my carbon fiber bin and just glued them in. I sanded them to the right angle and glued them all in and said, oh, look, it fits. So this has been a boat of, fortunately, I get something and it fits. And I grab something and it fits. And I look in here and it fits. And I have one of these and it fits. So thus far, this is all stuff off the shelf. In fact, the whole boat's going to be off the shelf. Is there anything I have in here that's not off the shelf? I don't know. So what do you guys think about paint? Should I just leave it this ugly plastic, this ugly PLA or whatever it is? Or should I put some kind of paint on it? And then, since everything in here was just quick and dirty, slap it together, make it work, it doesn't have to be pretty kind of stuff. What should I do with the outside? Just paint it one color and call it good? Just leave it black with sanding marks where I knocked down the high edges? Obviously, for the first runs, it's going to look like this. You know, just like this. So when I'm done with this, I'm going to pull the skedaddle jet back out of its hangar. Do you keep boats in a hangar? Well, wherever I keep it, I'm going to pull it out of there and finish it up. There's not much more to do to it. And then here's where it gets tricky. I think then I need to start looking for the right project. I have a bunch of motors in this size and slightly larger, but they're not great for boats over 20 inches, say. Once you get into 24-inch boats, you can go with a 36 millimeter Tui. 36 millimeter motor. And these are 29 millimeters. These are more suited to these 18 to 20 inch boats. And the problem is there's really not a whole lot available in the market that's 18 to 20 inches. 18 was my little 1/20th scale boats, and that's almost too small for something like this. And 24 inches is that Swifter I have with the geared motor in it. And it's too big for this. So 20 inches would be a good hydroplane sized boat. And that would be about 1/16 scale. Unfortunately, there aren't really any 1/16 scale boats out there. And I'd kind of like to do a semi-scale, 1/16 scale, 1/16 semi-scale hydroplane. You know, it'll kind of like what I did with the MHZ hydroplanes. I made them look like the Budweiser or the American Spirit. So I'm thinking along those lines again, although it might be fun to detail out a modern turbine hydroplane, you know, not go quite as crazy as I did on the skedaddle jet, but, you know, put some nice stuff on, kind of like, I'm doing a lot of uhs, aren't I? Kind of like what Sam Hallstrom did on the Atlas kit, to where he was 3D printing the little rubber cowl hold downs. No, that was a nice touch. I thought that was a real nice touch. And the way he did the panel on that, again, very nice, very nice. He had access to some photos that I hadn't seen. He must do far better research than I do. I must be too quick and dirty. You know, like this, quick and dirty. That's its name, quick and dirty. Not fast, just quick. So we'll see how this thing goes. Anyway, just wanted to let you know I haven't forgotten about you. I'm still here. I just haven't been doing much in the way of boats. And as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going to grab my coffee and go upstairs. I'll load the video and start working on 6 proposals. Thank God I can copy a lot of it. Until next time, boys and girls, jet out. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you breaking news. And remember, here at the Stink Bug Works, when news breaks, we fix it. I've had this box lounging around in my box marked ESC1 as for my first-rate ESCs. I have another box marked ESC2, which are my second-rate ESCs. Anyway, I'm thinking about this because this may not be enough, and I'm saying, well, then I would just put in this Shark 60. I have a couple of these in the box marked ESC1. So I have a couple of these, and these are really good speed controls. But this is a 60 amp speed control, and it weighs this much. This is a 70 amp speed control, and it weighs about a quarter of this, maybe a third, but it's huge caps for its size. Although 70 amps, you want caps that are about that big. And it does have the ability to water cool. It has a cooling plate mounted on the FETs, and this cooling plate has a threaded hole here and a threaded hole here where you could get a nipple to screw onto there. I may have some nipples in my box marked cooling. Yes, I have boxes everywhere. So I could put nipples on this and boom, water cooled, very small. Very small. Look how crowded that board is. They did not leave much space at all. I see one little area where there's some space right in there. But other than that, this thing is jam-packed with little tiny square boxes packed with smoke. Look at that in there. Can you see how tightly packed that is? That's pretty impressive. Anyway, there is the news. I found a speed control. I'm going to buy more of these things. These are reasonably priced, too. They're like $80, $70. They might be $69.95. They're quite reasonable, and this is the thing to run in mini mono class, you know, the mini dom and the scored and things like that. This would be perfect for that. It's for 2 to 4S lipos, so you can run this on 4S. So this is going to be a treat. And get a load of this. It comes preloaded with what appears to be 4mm bullets, and I think I've got 3s on this. Oh well. But I have 4s on this. Look at here, boys and girls. Look at here. All I need is my XT60 that I run on there, and bingo, I have the perfect setup. Until next time, boys and girls, jet out.